my name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I'm reviewing 212 VIP for men. The price is really everywhere at the moment. This is £59.95 for 100ml and normally it's £90. I'm sure you all know, but the 95p is, there would have been talks about £60 is a little bit too much, but we want to make it feel cheaper. So taking 5p off makes you feel £59. It's a marketing ploy to make you think it's not as expensive as 60. So the notes are passion fruit, lime, pepper, ginger, vodka, gin. I think this is a going out fragrance. Mint, spices, amber, leather, woody aromas. Here we have our bottles of 212 VIP for men who are engaged with the higher self. Let's get testing. So when I come in to do these reviews, I really like reviewing these because I know they're going to be kind of really easy to understand. They're not saying they contain any raw materials that really isn't in there, or trace amounts. So there's nothing tricky to understand. It's just going to be, you smell nice. I hate the plastic kind of cap. I mean, it feels cheaper, like weighty perfumes. But anyway, let's have a look at the atomizer. So this is not groundbreaking at all, and I don't think it's trying to be. This has got a very pencil shavings quality to it. This smells very woody. That would be the wood aroma chemicals combined with ISO Super, giving this sort of finish. Lots of lift, cleanness, quite a transparent nature. The geometry is pointed, so that means there's lots of citrus and aroma chemicals to give you that sort of finish. The sweetness is ethyl maltol whipping through the base. I love ethyl maltol with like the cashmere molecules and dihydromercenol. At the right concentration, I think you get a really lovely finish with the right aroma chemicals as well. Lavender is really lovely on this, but it's quite light. And it was an eau de parfum. It feels quite light and it doesn't feel, yeah, this is going, so this isn't doing too much on me at all. One of the raw materials which perfumers love to use in this sort of fragrance is the fruit raw materials. And there is a raw material called, I refer to it as a glutinate raw material. And it's got a prefix of, I think it's amyl glutinate, different trade names, everything. I just think of it as glutinate because that's where my brain works when I'm looking for the 25 litres of it. Just look for the end of the prefix of it. And the glutinate raw materials on paper sound like pineapple. And that's kind of it. I mean, it does sort of smell pineapple-y, but I really enjoy these raw materials because they can work in different ways to give you a different finish. And with the cashmere molecules, these two raw materials give you a really beautiful, transparent sweetness and lift and volume. That's what's happening here. It's quite apparent actually. Other fruit acetates and fruit raw materials giving this sort of sweetness and lift. I mean, it's just very simplistic. I don't think it's trying to be anything particularly spectacular. This is working with a lot of raw materials that are, I'd consider animal notes, and animal notes within this formula are very important because you are working with a lot of sweet raw materials, coumarin, vanillin, the glutinates, the acetates, all these sort of raw materials combined with cashmere and ethyl maltol. And without the animal notes, it would be very imbalanced and it would just smell like chemical sludge. But within this sort of formulation, the animal notes happen to put it back and give it balance and form. And that's really important because you want a mixture of sweetness combined with sort of like, I suppose the way to think about it is when you get chocolate and you mix it with chili and salt, and you think that will go, but actually the right amount of it gives it a more of a fuller effect. And that's where I would think about the sweet raw materials combined with the animal nature. It doesn't give you an animal nature. I know some people have mentioned before that they don't like animal notes because they're frightened of it, it smells dirty, all the rest of it. That's not the way to really think about it. Animal notes are incredibly importante to give you that finish, that finesse, that sort of structure, completeness and balance. And to my final thoughts. I think this is okay, but I'm kind of bored. It sounds a little bit too simplistic for my liking. I mean, I don't know if I just smelled this so many times before, but I don't know, it's kind of like boring. And this is the problem I get when I start to review a lot of the same category of sweet fragrances. It smells boring. This doesn't really have masses of lift. I mean, I like the choice of raw materials, you know, the methylpampamous, the apple acetates, the dihydromercenol. I love the aroma chemicals, choice of sweet raw materials. I think it's really well balanced. I think the perfume's done a great job, but I think it's boring and I think it's too much of a dumb reach, if that makes sense. It's kind of all right, and I think it's okay. I think it's really lovely created though. I love the sharpness and clarity with it, but it's kind of not strong enough either for my liking, and I would like this much more lift and volume, and I would like a twist on it. Personally, I'd kind of like something which twisted in some way. This just feels like a dumb reach. It just feels like, okay, I've done this before and it's all right. I just like to be challenged a little bit more with in these reviews, and this to me feels a little bit too simplistic, a little bit done, kind of like whatever. But the price, I mean, what was it, £59 and 95p? I mean, that's outstanding for 100 ml. So I think the price in this aspect, I think, is really fantastic. I think the fragrance is kind of all right. So the two are going to kind of balance each other out with my sort of final mark. On a plus side, I think it's really well created. I like the lift, I like the volume. It's not particularly substantial on me at all. I think it's just great for the signature fragrance, dumb reach. I think it's good for all men. I think it smells nice and clean, fresh and sweet. Sort of nice amount of naturals in it. But I don't really think it's giving me something. I'd love some patchouli in it or vetiver. To give him some darkness and sort of anchor it to the skin a little bit more. It's kind of missing that. Or I'd like the musk choice lifted right up. I mean, Hannibalite, Helvetilide and Bretellide, Muscone would have been really nice in this. Some other stuff. And I mean, when I start thinking like this, oh, I could do this, adding stuff to it, Magnolia and Florazone, all this sort of stuff, I would have added a lot more to it and made it a lot more interesting, and it feels a little bit unimaginative, and it feels a little bit boring actually. I think it smells like thousands of other things. I'm going to mark it as 7 out of 10. I think it's all right, but I don't think it's particularly amazing actually. I think it's all right, but I don't think it's particularly doing anything. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance reviews. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.